and welcome to the April edition of Flames Tipoff Show, sponsored by Impact Networking. I'm your host, Joe Brand. Welcome to Credit Union One Arena. We're just thrilled to get this underway as we're going to give you an in-depth look at the UIC Flames. And welcome to the end that we're now 3 seasons away from when Loyola took the city by storm and advanced to the Final Four of the NCAA tournament. Anybody on that team from 2017, 2018 were just freshmen at the time. And welcome to the inaugural edition of the Flames Tipoff Show, sponsored by Impact Networking. I'm your host, Joe Brand. Welcome to Union One Arena. We're just thrilled to get this underway as we're going to give you an in-depth look at UIC Flames with each home game this season and a little bit about their opponent as well. As thrilled as we are to get today going, we do unfortunately have to start with some somber news. Jimmy Collins has passed away. Jimmy Collins, the former UIC head coach, he was here 14 years, amassed more wins than any other head coach in UIC history, number 180. He was also the head coach that led the Flames to their first NCAA tournament appearance in 1990. So they have plenty of things planned this season to honor Jimmy Collins' memory, including today, and we'll get to a few more of those as well throughout today's broadcast. As for today's game, the UIC Flames welcome in Loyola. The inter-city rivalry continues here in the Windy City. Loyola 2-0, UIC at 3-1. The Flames finishing off their non-conference schedule. So before we get into that a little bit more, we're going to talk with the new head coach, Luke Yaklich, with our Xfinity Coaches Connection, as Coach Yaklich tells us a little bit about how he got the job, a little bit about the Loyola rivalry, and what he likes about the UIC. Also, stay tuned. It's the Flames Tipoff Show here from UIC. That we're now 3 seasons away. Took the city by storm and advanced to the Final Four of the NCAA tournament. So it's a little surprising to believe that we're now 3 seasons away from when Loyola took the city by storm and the Final Four of the NCAA tournament. Anybody on that team from 2017, 2018 were just freshmen at the time and are now seniors in this Loyola squad today, along with the players to watch for. And welcome to the inaugural edition of the Flames Tipoff Show, sponsored by Impact Networking. I'm your host, Joe Brand. Welcome to Credit Union One Arena. We're just thrilled to get this underway as we're going to give you an in-depth look at the UIC Flames with each home game this season and a little bit about their opponent as well. As thrilled as we are to get today going, we do unfortunately have to start with some somber news. Jimmy Collins has passed away. Jimmy Collins, the former UIC head coach, he was here 14 years, amassed more wins than any other head coach in UIC history, number of 218. He was also the head coach of the Flames for their first ever NCAA tournament appearance in 1990. News this morning, but they do have many things planned throughout the season to honor Jimmy Collins' memory, including today, and we'll get to a few more of those as well throughout today's broadcast. The inner-city rivalry continues here in the Windy City. Loyola comes in at 2-0, UIC at 3-1, and the Flames finishing off their non-conference schedule. Before we get into that a little bit more, we'll talk with the new head coach, Luke Yak, with our Xfinity Coaches Connection, as Coach Yak tells us about how he got the job, a little bit about the Loyola rivalry, and what he likes about the UIC campus as well. So stay tuned. It's the Flames Tipoff Show here from UIC's campus. Hi, and welcome to our first ever edition of the Xfinity Coach Connection. I'm Joe Brand. This is when we get a chance to sit down with the head coach of the UIC Flames, Luke Yak. And Coach, thanks so much for doing this. Now, when you get your first head coaching job in the hometown of Chicago, I'm sure the first person you told is your wife, but what was some of that reaction like from your friends and family? I'm sure they were thrilled.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's interesting, Joe. My wife was the first call, and then my son actually found out first. We were driving up from Texas, just taking some things back and forth, and visiting my mom and dad, and so we were at a gas station at the Oglesby, Illinois exit, and I got the call from Michael Lippett's calling, and I said, Griff, this is either going to be really, really good, okay, or Dad's going to be really disappointed. And once I put it on speakerphone, and when Mr. Lippett's offered me the position, and I started screaming, and Griffin was high-fiving and fist pumping, and it was awesome. It was a great father-son moment. And then obviously then told my wife, and then my high school coach, and then kind of went from there.
You mentioned screaming. You're typically screaming when your team is on defense. I know you're getting your feet into the ground here these days, but around the college basketball world, you're known for your defensive mindset. What first got you so inspired by the defense aspect of the game?
My high school coaches, and I think about this often. I get the chills when I talk about my high school coaches. They mean everything to me. And as a high school coach for 15 years, I have just a great appreciation for the job that high school coaches do on a day-to-day basis, going from the classroom to the court and back and forth. But my high school coach was Chips Giovanni, who has since passed away, and his son was the head coach, who's just retired from Augustana University, built a great program there. But Chips was all man-to-man defense. I mean, there wasn't a single possession of zone. And I had a freshman coach, John Reardon, that absolutely, you were going to play defense or you weren't going to ever see the floor. And so it was that just whole program mindset. And then my sophomore coach, who's still my mentor today and one of my very best friends, Gary Sonnenberg, he kind of got me really into coaching. And so I loved the defense, and he got me into the coaching part. And it really was kind of the set my career path as a sophomore in high school.
Well, the defense is clearly off to a great start. So is the team overall. What's allowed this team to just get chemistry and everybody to click so early on? Because there's some very close wins you guys have had.
Yeah, we've it's just been a really steady process, and no more. I just think there's no point in my life or career where everybody always tells you just take one day at a time, and you are forced to do that here in this environment, and really forced to do it throughout the recruiting process. So sitting down there in Austin, Texas, in my office in Austin, and then had 3 assistant coaches that were in 3 different states, and players who were just getting to know me over a phone call and Zoom meeting. And I think about that point and to where we are now, where we're actually getting to practice every single day and be together and growing that chemistry. It's been a long and tedious process, but it's been well worth it. We got really, really good kids that care about what they're doing, and we're just trying to teach them each and every day how to be a better student, athlete, player, and then in the process being a young man. And that's our mantra each and every day. And we're off and running, and in the process, I'm improving and growing myself. And that's the great part about coaching, is that you learn a lot from your players.
Well, speaking of the city, the next opponent is Loyola. So what do you know about that Flames Ramblers rivalry?
Well, I know that I know how good of a job that Coach Moser and his staff have done over the years, having played in the Final Four game against Loyola in that preparation, then playing them all the time when I was at Illinois State. You can see the steady incremental rise of their program, and it's a result of their hard work and the development of their players. And have nothing but the utmost respect for the job that they've done and the program that they've established there. And
all right, well, Coach, thank you so much. It's been a thrill to work with you in the early going. Good luck against Loyola, and we'll see you next time on Xfinity Coach Connection. I'm Joe Brand. It's a little surprising to believe we're now 3 seasons away from when Loyola took by storm, and everybody on that team from 2018 were just special time seniors on Loyola's today, along with the players to watch for the veterans that were on the memorable team. I see assistant
So Loyola is one of the best teams returning in the Missouri Valley. They were predicted to finish first in the league this year. They're ranked 3rd in the mid-major polls, so they're a really good team. They return all 5 starters. They return their starting big man, Cameron Krutwig, who's a preseason first-team All-League player. Point guard play is really good. They're a really, really high-level team. It's a fun game for us because it's renewing a Chicago tradition, and their mid-major success is something that we're trying to get to. So it's going to be it's going to be a great challenge for our team because we have so many new players, and we're really looking forward to rising to this challenge. I think offensively they're really, really good at sharing the ball. Cameron Krutwig is a great passer, as are their guards and their whole team. They do a really good job of sharing the ball. Their effective field goal percentage is top 10 in the country returning. So they're going to be really, really polished on offense, especially being so early in the season because they return 5 starters. So we're really going to have to bear down defensively and get stops. I think our 3 main keys are going to be number 1, limit second chance opportunities. Number 2, don't allow them to get out in transition. And number 3, which is one of our keys for every game, is limiting open 3-point attempts and making sure we challenge and contest every shot that they shoot. Those are going to be the 3 keys for us on the defensive end.
UI Health takes pride in serving Chicago. We're in your neighborhoods, providing care closer to home because we're committed to keeping our communities healthy. And that commitment starts with a healthier you. It's more than a prescription or a procedure. It's a healthcare team taking the time to listen. As partners in your health, understanding your needs is the first step in providing the personalized care you deserve. UI Health, changing medicine for good.
Place in the Horizon League. I'm Joe Brand. This is the Flames Tipoff Show, sponsored by Impact Networking. Let's take a look at the standings for the Horizon League. Yeah, UIC, despite playing more games than almost everybody in the conference, despite a 3-1 record, they're actually in 5th place behind all those teams that are 1-0. But the Flames, with more wins than all of them, also with 1 more win than Northern Kentucky, and now finishing off their non-conference schedule. Just kind of a technicality at the moment, obviously, with everybody's schedules jumbled up some bit due to COVID. And the other games going on today is UIC hosts Loyola. Some other teams in the Horizon League. First time seasons, but an inner-city rivalry that always brings a lot of fun. We're at the Credit Union 1 Arena. You're watching the Flames Tip-Off Show. Stay tuned for more.
UI Health takes pride in serving Chicago. We're in your neighborhoods, providing care closer to home because we're committed to keeping our communities healthy. And that commitment starts with a healthier you. It's more than a prescription or a procedure. It's a healthcare team taking the time to listen. As partners in your health, understanding your needs is the first step in providing the personalized care you deserve. UI Health, changing medicine for good.
While our UIC campus is quiet, the important work continues. Teaching and learning, caring for patients, discovering treatments and cures, innovation, persevering with determination and grit. The world is changing. The importance of your degree won't. We are the University of Illinois at Chicago for Chicago. Thank you to our students, faculty, staff, doctors, nurses, and all our service providers.
UIC outscoring their opponents by 5 points in the early going of this year, and a big help thanks to the newcomers. I'm Joe Brand. You're watching the Flames Tip-Off Show, our inaugural edition here, sponsored by Impact Networking. So UIC with a 3-1 record, but it's the new guys, Raquandis Mitchell and Tavion Kirk, actually 2 of the top 3 scorers for the UIC Flames. Let's take a look at some of the games that the Flames have pulled through, as they actually have put together some very close victories, and their one loss to Ball State was only by 2 points. The offense has really been clicking in the early going. The ball movement has really shown signs in just 4 games played. Tavion Kirk, for example, has more assists than any other UIC's player. How about this? Than the rest of the UIC roster combined. So a new guy coming in and finding chemistry immediately is a big reason why the UIC Flames are off to such a hot start. Also, Luke Yaklich knows how to play defense, knows how to coach defense. That's exactly what the Flames are doing right now. They're holding their opponents to less than 14 three-pointers per game. They've been doing a phenomenal job guarding the three-point line, which they hope to do once again here today as they host Loyola. The Flames and Ramblers getting set for an inter-city rivalry. Loyola has not been here to UIC in quite some time. The Flames hoping for their 4th win of the season in their first 5 games. We'll have tip-off coming up soon here on the Flames Tipoff Show, sponsored by Impact Networking.
Yes, sir, and a foul. Raquandis Mitchell knocks down the
Built a
three.
great program there.
Kirk.
But Chips was all
Pass
man-to-man
inside, the
defense.
layup is
I mean, I wasn't
good
a single
for Diggins
possession
and a
zone.
foul.
And I had a
Michael
freshman
Diggins
coach,
right to the
Johnny Reed,
basket. A chance for a three-point
that
play.
Absolutely, you were going to play defense or you weren't going to ever see the floor. And so it was that just whole program mindset. And then my sophomore coach, which was my
pushing the pace, kick out to Mitchell. Big time bucket from UIC. The lob, the jam. Michael Diggins with the finish. Taken away from Kirk. He'll take it himself up with the left hand.
Opponents now in 4 games, 8 for 57.
Count the bucket from Jamie Hill. Kirk the take, the drive, and the finish.
Tell you when he turns the corner like that.
Diggins a rebound over Hazen. And the 2.
A risky move by Diggins, the Ball State coaching staff.
UIC pushing in pace. Another jam. Michael Diggins and Trayvon Kirk. Griffin pulls up from 3. Off the glass and in. Zion Griffin with a huge 3 for UIC.
The bank is open.
While our UIC campus is quiet, the important work continues. Teaching and learning, caring for patients, discovering treatments and cures, innovation, persevering with determination and grit. The world is changing. The importance of your degree won't. We are the University of Illinois at Chicago for Chicago. Thank you to our students, faculty, staff, doctors, nurses, and all our service providers.
Actually been Loyola in the recent going, taking down UIC. Take a look at some of these numbers. UIC with 31 wins and 25 losses against Loyola all time, but the Ramblers have taken 8 of the last 9 matchups, including the last 7. And not only that, Loyola has shot over 55% from the floor in the last 2 games against UIC, knocking down over 48% of their three-point shots. So Loyola, obviously with a lot of recent success heading to the NCAA tournament a few years ago, but they are eager to get back there because the past 2 seasons, they've been bounced in the Missouri Valley Conference tournament. UIC just coming off, heading all the way down to the Horizon League championship game last season despite falling short. The Flames off to a fantastic start. One more note to add. Luke Yaklich, the new head coach of the UIC Flames, the last time he coached against Loyola, he was part of Michigan's head coaching staff as they knocked down Loyola in the semifinal game rather, of the NCAA tournament 3 seasons ago. Jonathan Hood, Chris Bleck, and I will have the broadcast for you on ESPN as the UIC Flames host Loyola. Thanks for tuning in to our inaugural edition of the Flames Tip-Off Show, sponsored by Impact Networking. We're hoping to do this for every home game moving on for the rest of the season. But again, flip over to ESPN to catch the live broadcast with Jonathan Hood, Chris Bleck, and myself. Thanks for tuning in.
Test.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Test. Test. Test.
Test. 1 2.
I hear you, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Loud and clear.
UIC Flames Radio Network.
Which one is testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
Check 1 2 1 2 test. Testing 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 check. Cool. Good.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing. Which one am I? Am I this one? Am I this one? Which one? Am I this one? Am I this one? Am I this one? Am I this one? All right. None of them mute.
Built a great program.
Testing.
Testing. All man-to-man defense.
Testing.
Wasn't
On the
a
Flames Radio
defensive
Network.
All right. Well,
and I had a
let's keep
freshman
that in mind.
coach, Reardon,
Test.
that absolutely
2 3.
you were going to play defense and you weren't going to ever see.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing.
And
Testing.
so
Testing.
That just whole program mindset.
On 2.
And then my sophomore,
All right.
which is my mentor.
Testing. Testing 1 2 3. Testing. Testing.
During his tenure at UIC, Collins amassed more wins than any coach in program history, with 218 victories. And he led the program to 4 postseason appearances, including the NCAA tournament 3 times. We ask that you please rise and join us for a moment of silence for the life and memory of Coach Jimmy Collins. Thank you. At this time, please join us as we celebrate unity and inclusion with the playing of Lift Every Voice and Sing.
Lift every